sweet for me until I stumbled along the river and fell in. The snake's back on his feet, walking down the street. He's coming for you, but baby, I'm coming too. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for your love. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for your love. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for your love.
Hello, everybody. It is June 19th, 2023. I am Drew.
And I'm Tara.
Tara decided she needed to take a drink right in the middle of the intro. This is MELLONfights. Tara's got that sort of skills.
Yeah.
She forgets she's on a podcast almost in the entire time I think she's on the podcast. MELLONfights, America's #1 sports and entertainment sibling. Chicago-based butthole buffoonery podcast. This is MELLONfights. This is MELLONfights. This is MELLONfights.
Yes, it is.
What was that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, get on. I couldn't hear you at all there. Get on the mic.
I'm on the mic. I'm on it. I'm remembering I'm on a podcast. I always know I'm on a podcast.
You don't. You mostly don't. When I edit it, I can tell you don't even care or know where you are.
I mean, I am easily distracted, but I'm nowhere, man.
Today is 6/19. Perfect day. 6/19, 6/19, 6/9, 6/9. This is the countdown to 69, Tara. We're going to be doing moving forward to the episode number 69. This is the countdown to 69.
69.
69.
69.
So this is our countdown to 69. This is our 64th episode of MELLONfights. We'll be doing something special for episode 69. I haven't figured out what yet. And we'll maybe be doing some 16. This week's 69 themed event is we watched Magic Mike.
Oh, yeah,
Last
we
Dance.
did.
What is it? Save the Last Dance? Magic Mike?
No, Last Dance.
It's just called Last Dance?
Yeah.
It ain't his last dance. I saw that movie.
He said
he's
not doing anymore.
Well, he's mistaken.
Yeah.
He's mistaken.
He definitely didn't leave it at like a good button. No.
Magic Mike Last Dance. You want to start with that? Or do you want to talk about...
Not?
No, we'll talk about it shortly. Let's get there. We'll go there in a second. First, we'll talk about our weekend. We were home for the weekend. Tara lives at home.
I live at home.
Not at home with our parents anymore, but she lives in our hometown. I was back for the weekend to celebrate Father's Day and my mother's birthday, my dad's birthday, all the birthdays. Her birthday's tomorrow.
Yep.
Father's Day was yesterday, and I was back for that. It was a good time. It was a good time to see the family. Got to see old friends, best friends. It was a pretty good weekend all in all. I drank more than I expected because I didn't plan on drinking last night. And then our mom at the bar that they work out, someone has to come up with a signature cocktail for the month. Like it's a different employee each month. And Jeannie is it this month, and she's taking it real fucking serious. So last night she's like making like millions of different cocktails for us that we have to taste, and then and then she asks if I like them, and I go yeah, and then she's like, oh, what about this one? Like, well, yeah, and then she makes another one that sucks.
And then she made the grossest thing ever.
She made the grossest am I drinking just simple syrup, sugar-free simple syrup only?
Yeah.
But she doesn't even listen when I say, hey, yeah, I like that one. Says she tries to do another one. I think the one she settled on is, I don't even know which one she settled on, but
I don't either.
She wants it to be a 4th of July themed. So she's like, so we went with, I talked her into blue carousel. I don't even know how to say it. But she, because it was told to look blue, but then she went with a red drink. Then she tried a red drink with strawberries. But right as you serve it, you just drop a little blue carousel in it, and it looks like a little red, white, and blue drink, and it's kind of like how you would do a tequila sunrise. It looked pretty cool. I think that's the move. I think it's kind of fun.
I think so too.
Just a pinch of that at
Just
the
a
end.
little bit, just to
Mhm.
give it a little
Mhm.
pizzazz.
Well, yeah, to make people go like, "Dang, Geneth."
Like, oh, this is fun and
She should go by Geneth
interesting.
at work.
Geneth?
Geneth. Dang, Geneth. You're not into it? Geneth?
No,
Why?
it's kind of like Mixandra, the
But it
lady.
but it's like a mix of Genie and Zenith, which is like the top. The top. She's Geneth.
I mean, it works.
It definitely works. Don't compare it to the name in fucking Magic Mike Last Dance. It's called just Last Dance or Magic Mike The Last Dance.
I think it's called Magic Mike: The Last Dance.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So that was our weekend. Tara, did you enjoy your weekend?
I did. I worked most of it, but then Sunday was fun. I got to hang out with you. We got to see your best bud. Didn't expect that. I got to be at my best buds.
Yeah.
So it was like a nice little best bud night. But I will say this.
What?
I think I'm gonna have to not drink as much as I've been getting migraines mid drinking, and I'm not about it. I don't know if I can drink anymore.
Guys.
No.
Hot take, she ain't about migraines. I never had a migraine problem. Maybe you should stop drinking because it's not that good for you.
I mean, that too.
It's not good for your fitness. It's not good for your
liver.
It's not good for your psyche sometimes. Maybe I'm not quitting, but but I don't drink a ton right now during the week just because it's not
I don't either.
to staying in shape and all that jazz. Because normally during the week I just have a couple drinks, but there's a lot of sugar in the drinks I like to make myself. So
yeah, you're a sugary drink guy.
And beers have a decent amount of caloric take in them.
Maybe it was the sugar because normally I don't drink sugary drinks, and I all of a sudden was like, holy shit. I got a migraine.
Well, I mean, we were chugging those drinks Mom was giving us, and we were pounding. Tara couldn't handle Tara couldn't handle Mom being the bartender, so she had to make her own margarita.
I wanted a strawberry margarita.
She was jealous of all the attention Mom was getting. She had to make her own cocktail that none of us cared that much about. Mom's drinks were better.
Well, I wanted a strawberry marg. I made it. I chugged it, and then I drank Mom's other drink. So I had 2 sugary cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot for the Boz.
If you guys are listening, you might hear Miranda walking around. She's doing stuff. You might also hear my neighbor hammering. He decided at 8:15 on a fucking Monday night that he was going to start rebuilding his deck, like a makeshift deck on top of his roof. He's like, dude, it's dark out. What are you fucking doing? So he's like up there banging around. He was banging around on our side, even though he's on the other side of the roof. But he had thrown all his stuff on our side without asking us, which we didn't really care. But it was just the thing about that is he did it like on a Sunday morning at like 7:30 in the morning. He starts like throwing pallets of wood over from his side
on your deck
while we're trying to not on the actual deck, just
on the roof. Just okay,
but above our bed, and we're like, what the fuck? Yeah, I had to go up. I'm like, what the fuck's going on up here? He's like, oh, like this one. Okay. I just turned around and left. I was like, all right, bye. I was like, dude, it's 7:30 on a Sunday morning. What the fuck are you doing? Like, think. And again, now it's like late night, and he's like, our neighbor's a little girl.
Yeah.
But and also I was trying to watch Magic Mike, and now I got a podcast to pot upon.
Oh, so you just finished Magic Mike?
Yeah, yeah, that's when I had time to watch it.
All right.
Because I got back later than expected, and I had things to do when I got back. I was trying to watch it last night, but our HBO wasn't working at Mom and Dad's, so I had to wait till I got here, and then it worked, and then I watched it. So we might as well just go jump into Magic Mike, The Last Dance. Let's make sure it's called The Last Dance.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Let's double check. Magic, not Magic Johnson.
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Magic Mike's Last Dance, yeah. So it's called Magic Mike's Last Dance. She does say that earlier on, but then he dances one more time.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be spoils because this is
so I don't know who watched this ahead of time. I know Miranda watched it. I know we got an email from her. I might read it early this week because she emailed about Magic Mike because she watched it. Yeah, she watched it yesterday, thinking because she was gonna watch it with me, but I told her we were gonna watch it together yesterday, and then we got something came up,
Sidetracked.
sidetracked, so we didn't get to watch it together. Well, we both watched it today. Yeah, Tara, I texted Tara to remind her on my way out of town, and she's like, I'm already
I already
watching
had it
And
on.
I told her to stay dry
She did.
because I barely did.
I know.
Because I barely did.
There was some.
Well, we'll get
wetness
to it. We'll get to
going
it.
on.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
I got a couple things planned here for
Okay,
this.
because I didn't really do the categories because I thought we'd just talk through it.
Yeah, we'll do them together.
Yeah.
So Magic Mike Last Dance. For those of you who have never seen any of the Magic Mikes, get on top of it. This is the third installment of Magic Mike. Not probably the last Magic Mike movie they make, but probably the last with Channing Tatum, he's claiming.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no they'll definitely make other ones. It'll be hard to find a replacement for Channing, to be honest. That's the one thing I know. That's the one thing I took from watching other guys dance in the movie. I'm just like, none of them have the pizzazz, the Channing charisma. None of them did. Can we agree on that? Not a single goddamn one. That's not true of the other movies. You know, his buddies that aren't in this one, Joe Manganiello and those guys are good. But I'm pretty sure all the guys in this are the guys that are in the Vegas show.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So again, we can get to that. So let's start at the beginning. Magic Mike, it just kicks. It just gets into it. It doesn't fuck around. Beginning of Magic Mike XXL. This one came out earlier this year. Magic Mike XXL was the last one. That one was like really fun, but the first one was a little different. It was a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little more serious. There's like drug ODs in it and shit like that. And then XXL comes along and it became more of a comedy, a little more fun for the ladies to go to, I think.
What it should have been.
What it should have been instead of the other one where they took it real serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was a little more of that. This was like very silly and very fun. Channing Tatum's a star. So beginning of the movie, Channing is sitting there basically talking about how he didn't like, I don't know what he was saying. It was a voiceover with him. Or was it? It was the woman's.
It was that. I feel like it was the little girl.
It was the girl's voiceover at first, but then there was a little thing with him right away. That was the only time with him where he's looking out over the water, talking about
how his business
failed during the pandemic.
Failed because of the pandemic. Yes.
Mm-hmm. His little because in XXL he's starting
like a furniture business.
He's like a carpenter, and his business apparently didn't. So he's doing. So you find that the first thing you see is he is a bartender for like a catering company for big parties, like major parties.
And he's very good looking.
And he's very good looking in it, yeah, for sure. And he and the house he's at, the very first house he's at is Selma Hayek's house.
Yes, it jumps right in. The story starts there.
He's at Selma Hayek's as the bartender. Tara?
Yes.
Take it from there. Next part. I'll let you handle this bit.
So, do you want me? They're at the party.
No, just go right to what happens. Just go to what happens.
And after the party, they're like, "Hey, the Selma Hayek wants to talk to you because she was the one throwing the party. Yeah. It was at her house."
Yeah.
And it came out during the party that he was Magic Mike, that he was a stripper, and Selma was like down in the dumps. She's going through a divorce, just like trying to escape her life, and she was like, "How much will it cost for you to dance for me?" And he said like 60 grand. Mm-hmm. And I think he was just goofing because he was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
And she was a little vague about it. It almost seemed like she's like, how much the fuck is what it seemed like.
Yeah.
He was going to do a little bit more.
And then she was like, just the dance. And then he starts locking the doors.
For 6 G's.
I thought it was 60.
He said 60. Then she said just for 6. I'll give you 6 for. She's like, I'm not giving you 60, but I'll give you 6. And he's like, oh.
Okay. Yeah. So then he locks the doors.
You don't need to do each. Then he dances for him. And he locks
the doors. He locks the doors, rearranges the furniture, and she's like,
really well done shot. Because they don't. Yeah. Once he locks the door, they do a one shot. They start a one shot with no cuts until about halfway through the dance.
Yeah.
So it's him setting up the room, walking around the room, stalking the room,
seeing where he can like do certain things, testing the sturdiness of stuff, and then he puts on some music.
I
And
thought it was gonna be Pony. I was a little bummed it wasn't Pony at first, but then it was good. But then it
no,
was good.
it was so good. And then he gave her the sexiest, longest lap dance.
He
of
gave
the
her,
world.
yeah. It was basically, it was almost a combo. It was almost a
They
combo.
were basically dry humping for.
Yeah, it was basically a combo of his first dance in Magic Mike XXL,
Yeah.
and the one at the end of XXL. It was like kind of like those two smushed together.
Yes.
And the I don't know who does the choreography for these. If it's
so good.
But it's like really cool how they do it. It's like no one can have sex like that, but it's cool. Like it's cool dancing and stuff like that. But yeah, so he's like picking her up, moving her around. It's a long scene.
It's a very long scene, but it is pretty darn sexy.
Yeah, so there's the first half of it. They must have decided that they tried it a bunch, probably as a full one shot, and it just got too long, is my guess. And they were because it goes for a really long time, and then it stops being a one shot
where it's light out, and then by the end of it, the end of
dark
the
out. But to be fair, the sun was setting already when it started.
Yeah, but it got dark pretty slow, I'm sure.
And then they're making out, and then they wake up and they had sex. Like they both were like, this is pretty.
They were feeling it.
This is pretty cool. Yeah. So, and how did that scene make you feel, Terry? How'd that scene make you feel?
I felt really excited.
Miranda was going to take a shower. Miranda had already seen it yesterday. Miranda was going to jump in the shower because we were making dinner, and there's about 50 minutes until dinner was going to be ready. So she was going to jump in the shower during it. And then that scene started, and she didn't. She laid down and just rewatched it and got all fucking
horned up, and then went to the shower.
Made me feel inadequate. Help me out. Inadequate. Thank you. I'm not only am I not sexy, I'm also stupid as shit. But she stuck around for that to the point where it took too long because it's a long scene, and she ended up having to take her shower after we ate dinner. So we did that.
Yeah, it gets you hooked because it's very sexy.
It's funny because
but it's like you said, the choreography is so good that it's interesting too.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's good not dancing. Just raunchy or
no, it's cool. It's like, oh, that's a cool way to do that.
It's artistic,
And he gets in such good shape for these movies because he's not always in he stays in pretty good shape as a guy, but when the Magic Mike's coming out, he definitely knows how to cut.
And he's just like all abs.
Yeah, he always looks the best in these when he's dancing in movies. Because other movies he'll get a little 21 Jump Street. He's never all that cut in him. A couple other movies, but in these he's like, I'm gonna get very cut.
He's like, well, I have to take my shirt off a bunch.
I could see that being why he doesn't want to do them anymore. He's like, I'm not
probably
doing diets. It's probably a hard diet.
Yeah,
he's 40 now. So that dance happens and they bang, right? And then instantly Selma Hayek is like, yo, you're going to London with me. I have an idea. You're going to come with me to London. I got a job for you.
She doesn't say anything else. She's just like, I'm going to give you.
That's where my life is. That's where we're going. And I'll give you $60,000.
60 grand. Yeah.
To do this job. It's only a month. He's like, you got to work for a month. And he's like, oh, I'm going to bang you for a month. And she's like, no.
She's like, no.
She won't tell him what it is.
This is a real job. And we're not going to be hooking up.
Obviously, because the fucking what happens makes no motherfucking sense.
No.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to interact with make a play a little something, but really they just did a Vegas
No, it was literally the Vegas show. The Magic Mike Vegas show.
Yes, exactly. Tara says Vegas weird, by the way. So they go there. She's not saying what it is. And they go and her husband or something, her husband, soon to be ex-husband, family owned, and she has ownership, I guess, of this old theater in London that is playing some old, dumb, boring play. And basically there's this weird scene where the director's a dick to her for half a second to make him basically make him a villain for 1 moment. So we could when she fires him, be like, good. Fuck that bitch. So anyway, she's like, we're shutting this down. We're doing something else. I got another plan. And this is my new director and it's Magic Mike. So that's when he realizes what
he's doing.
he's doing.
But he's
And
also like, say what?
he's
I'm
like,
directing
huh?
something.
And he's like, okay. So anyway, so that just sets up the rest of the movie. So the rest of the movie, just to set, they're going to do this show one night only
one night.
of
Well, it
this.
wasn't going to only be one night only.
Yes, it was always.
Really?
Yes, that's what she
Did I
said. It's
miss
just the
that?
one time.
Oh,
He was just there for a month. It was the one night only. And basically, it's this show where it's this old, like, Britishy play. It might be a real play. I don't know. But
I don't
all the
either.
actors were like wearing old, almost like Bridgerton shit.
yes.
And basically, they're going to throw dancing in it, is what they make it seem like. Like they're going to do some sort of like, they're going to change basically the scene.
Yeah.
But really, what we learn is they just do a strip, like a, a
Magic
strip
Mike
show,
show.
a Magic Mike strip show.
Yeah.
It just was like high, quality, like a Vegas show. It was a Vegas show,
yeah.
is all it really was. She didn't change anything. She just did it in a really old, fancy theater. And,
yes.
and it was,
They're like, this is groundbreaking.
and it wasn't.
We're doing something special here.
Yeah, and they weren't. I mean, really, but and while this is all going on, they have this weird, like, will they, won't they be together thing, even though they banged in the first scene of the first act. They're banging already, right after the first scene of the movie. They've already banged, but she has a daughter that's adopted, and why not just have a real daughter? I don't know. Why haven't adopted? It made no sense.
No.
But does he have kids?
No, I think they just have the adopted daughter.
No, him.
Channing?
Yeah. In
the show?
Yeah.
No.
Like in the first one.
No.
Okay. Couldn't remember if there's like
kids.
a daughter or something.
No.
And so that they're doing that, and like she's like a little crazy, and like a little, they give you like warning signs that she's like doesn't follow through with shit, and she's a little nuts. And
yes.
like, something else is really going on. Her and this relationship, it's like very
It's
toxic.
like if she breaks up with him, she gets no money.
Right. There must be a prenup.
Yeah, there's a prenup even though he cheated on her.
Right.
Like and it sounds like it's not like it's not like the first time.
And I don't know that it's not necessarily his money, it's like family money.
Yes.
Like he's not like the reason, like it's not like he's just some rich dude that like
no.
Like he has a job and shit. Like it's family money. And like his mom, you don't really know the mom, but she was mentioned a couple times. His mom seems to be the rich person.
Yes.
Involved with this. So basically at that point they're creating the show. Channing's going around town and she's introducing people and people are loving him. He's doing a really good job of being cool.
He's so cool.
But then the ex-husband / still husband keeps like sabotaging them to fuck it up, where they're going to get shut down by the city, by London and stuff like that. Historical stuff.
Oh my God.
It was really dumb and silly. But then they realize there's a woman that's part of it. And they're like, how can we do this? And they basically do this scene on a bus, which was too short in my opinion.
It was way too short. I'm like, why is this done?
They should have done more with that.
Yes.
Because it was a good idea.
Yes.
And they didn't do it.
Because it started out so fun and then it ended so abruptly and weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Approved.
Yeah. I thought that should have been a little longer scene. Like take your time with that because it's really unique to do it on that top level of a double-decker bus, So yeah, they eventually, her and Channing, I'm just gonna get to the end and then we can kind of talk about everything after that. Just kinda like, so her and Channing getting a couple fights here and there, and she goes a little crazy, and they kind of like she's like, we can't do it, it's not gonna happen.
She's giving up in the last.
I'm giving up, and basically she gives up because the husband / ex-husband says that their daughter won't get anything. She'll be broke too, which was super fucking rude. So that's why she actually tells Channing to go, because she doesn't want to do that to the girl, which is probably not what would have happened anyway. But so she like tells Channing to go home, but he stays secretly, and there's a butler or something, like an assistant that's always around.
Yeah.
With that we didn't talk about, who's kind of like a man nanny for kind of helped raise the daughter.
Yes.
And he's kind of everywhere and is like her best friend and confidant, and Channing and him are buddies. And he gives keys to the theater to him, which he would have already had anyway because he's the director of it. Let's be honest.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't have had to
Yeah.
slip him the keys. He would have had to have keys to open it.
Exactly.
But anyway, so they end up putting on the show. They do all this extra work. They add a scene to it where we'll get to that at the end. They add they put on the show. The show's a mega success. Channing and Selma he tells her he loves her.
Yeah.
At the end, and they are at least
smooch.
together for a moment. They're at least together for one moment.
And then it goes to credits.
And then credits. Instantly credits.
Instantly.
It's
kind of like a Hallmark movie.
It was insane how fast it went. It was exactly like a Hallmark movie.
Here's the end. We're done.
Credits. So, yeah, that was Magic Mike's Last Dance. Let's talk a little bit more about things, but I just want to kind of get through it fast but couple takeaways from it. My first takeaway is Channing's by far the best of any of the dancers. I don't know if that's on purpose, where he gets more. I bet he gets more takes and shit like that. But he also has like,
well, he was a stripper, so
but so are these other guys. These are the guys. For those that have never, the only reason, Tara, I know this is we watched a little show called, I think we talked about this last year. It was called Making Magic Mike, and it was a show on HBO Max, and it was like 20 normal dudes trying to become the next Magic Mike, like in their Vegas show.
Yeah.
And it was really fun, but we saw some of the Vegas show, and a lot of what, if not all of it didn't have the full Vegas show in it, but I think everything in it was from the Vegas show.
Even the last thing?
I think, yeah, that's in it. Remember they had to do that. Don't you remember that the guys that were trying to become it had to do the rain dance? You don't remember that?
True, I didn't finish it.
It's a little different, but you didn't finish it?
No.
You're a fucking idiot. Finish shit. That show made me cry like 10 times. These just dudes loving each other. Like his buddies.
It really was a dude
It was like
love.
Romance City. So anyway, all of it is from the Vegas show.
Mm-hmm.
The first comment from Miranda, and I thought it, but then as the movie went on, I thought it less. But she's like, man, the acting was so bad in that first scene when they're first interacting. She's like, Selma Hayek, a bad actress. I'm like, I've always thought that, and I've always thought that about Channing sometimes, where they're not good actors. Like, it's like awkward.
I think Channing's a good actor.
Sometimes he's very bad, Tara. And so is Selma, but then they both can have moments where they're good. But that first scene was bad, but as the movie went on, I liked it more. But then there's just parts I'm like, you guys are not very good actors. But then they're good. They're very hit or miss in scenes. Depends on the scenes. And that's what Miranda was thinking. I thought the same thing. What were your big takeaways from it, other than Channing being the best dancer?
I missed the buddies being in it because they were so fun. They were just.
I thought they should have showed up.
So fun. I thought so too. I liked when they did the little zoom of them, which I liked because
you got all their personalities.
You got all their personalities, exactly.
Like they had the Tarzan like a little out of focus because he's the old man. It was like, he didn't really care.
Yeah. So I just really wish they would have had them because, like, outside of Channing and Selma, there really was no like character development for any of the dancers.
No, there was the one guy.
Not even the one guy that they brought in from Greece
that she
or
used
whatever.
to like make him jealous for like 1 second for that one scene. He was a good dancer, but it wasn't as cool. Like it wasn't as like there was no. It was just like ballet. It was very like artsy, and it didn't really work. Like it wasn't that sexy. Like when Channing was watching, he's kind of like whatever.
Yeah,
it didn't really work. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna put in the show, and that's kind of how his dancing worked. But I thought, Tara, I really thought that none of the other dudes had any real.
No,
they just didn't have it. Even when they did the pony dance,
no,
it wasn't it. And I don't know. I didn't see anything, but I didn't see anything dedicated to Twitch or anything like that. Because he clearly had that sex appeal in that last dance with him and Channing and XXL.
Gosh.
He had tons of sex appeal. He was really good.
Even in his dancing at Rome's house,
yeah,
it was like, ooh. But
Remember
also,
that?
then Channing came on and it was like, oh boy.
Yeah, they didn't really do a good job in this one. I thought of giving any of the other dancers a time to like shine. Where it was
They were
like,
just,
where it was like they were just kind of like it was. They were clearly just the dancers from fucking. The only one
yeah,
that had time to shine was the woman, the ballerina, like the woman that danced with Channing was the
yeah,
only other one that got to be like very sexy.
right.
I think she's the dancer from the show as well.
Oh,
I'm
was
pretty
the
sure.
MC like the MC of the show?
No, that's just a dude. That's an actor.
No, the girl.
I don't know, but she sucked. Can we
I
agree on that?
know. Yeah.
I don't know that she is, but she was like, I'm like, you couldn't get someone that had like everything she did was not very good.
And it was loud.
It was loud and like she twerked at one point. It was not sexy.
Oh, yeah. Her dancing, like when she had to do that.
Her
part,
singing wasn't good. I was like, why
No.
is this your person you cast? She must be the MC of the Vegas show. You might be right.
Yeah.
Because like her whole bit sucked. Like
Mhm.
she was like so there's an MC, there's a woman that's only one person from the original show gets to be in the Magic Mike show they come up with. Like that was an actor in the fake play. And she
Mhm.
comes in and she's like real crude about shit instantly. It was like very odd.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the crudeness. It just felt weird and forced. And she just wasn't that good, in my opinion.
No.
That was one of my takeaways. I thought she was stinky. Do you want to do any more like big takeaways before we go through some categories, Tara?
No.
Anything that you really thought about while you're watching it? Yeah, but I also agree, like not having the other guys in it wasn't because those guys are all actual like actors.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is I don't think
they're
any of those
so
other guys were
fun.
actors.
No, they
I
definitely
think that's the
weren't.
problem. And it showed in their dancing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they had no like character to their dancing.
Right.
Where when
Like
Channing does it, it's
like when
like-
Channing showed the guy who's like, that was so good, but like then he did it. And I
better.
know, like I 100% know like that was the point, but also
yes, because they
when
do it later,
and it still just
and it still wasn't the
as
same
good.
because it didn't have the intensity.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's his good. That is him being a good actor.
Yeah.
You know, categories. Tara, I'm never do the categories that much. So what are the categories?
I gotta see where my categories are because
You just don't have them
here. Well, one would be like the epic moment, like the moment you would most recognize.
What's the movie? Yeah, like what's the iconic moment?
Iconic.
And this is a new movie, so that's not really. I would say it's going to be. Is it good, Tara? Do you think it's the first dance or do you think it's the rain dance? A lot of people haven't seen the rain dance because they haven't. I've seen it. I've seen it done by non-Channing Tatums in that show.
The rain dance was awesome.
Yeah. But was it as good as that first dance?
Probably not. But pretty close because it's fun. I want a rain dance.
There was cool parts like when they were sliding. They were sliding
part.
Underneath each other on top.
Yes.
I think you're probably right. It's probably going to be the rain dance.
Yeah.
I would say will end up being the most iconic moment from that movie that people like remember. I'm surprised I don't see shit on it. I'm on TikTok like memes about it.
I know.
What's else? What's next? You don't have them written anywhere?
I do, but I thought I had them in my book and I don't. Hold on.
Tara's not here right now, but I wonder if you guys are like, Drew's really fucking into this shit. Like, he really is into Magic. I think they're fun movies. I think they're hilarious and they're silly and fun and like whatever. When a dude's a handsome dude, I can tell you he's a handsome ass dude. I think more than anything while I'm watching it, I'm like, I could do, like, I'm in my brain, I'm like, I need to do that sometime. Like, I need to be able to pull that off. I think that's why I like it. What? I was vamping there talking about me watching it and how it's people listening like, dang, he's into this shit. Now saying, I think that the reason I really like, I feel like ladies will watch it or guys, like they get like horned up. Like, yeah, Channing, like, were you getting horned up by the other dances? Not really, right? Just the Channing dances?
Just the Channing dances.
But I was saying
if there was another one that was... No, every time Channing danced, I was like...
Yeah. Well, I think, like, for me... So I was saying, I think why I don't get horned up I get horned up thinking, like, oh, I'd like to pull that off. Like, to get
Oh, that-
do you know what I mean?
that you
Like
think
to
you
me,
could
be
do
the
it?
dancer to do that sick cool moves to a lady. Like that's my brain. Mine's
Mhm.
I'm excited about seeing Selma Hayek go up in the air and like, oh, that'd be fun to do.
Oh yeah, when she was like against the window and his face was in her
I wonder, and
crotchola.
again, like hard, like to do that without a woman knowing you're about to do it is tough. She's
Yeah.
like kind of got to work with you to pull that off. But it was cool. Categories. Most
Categories.
iconic moment. We did.
Favorite character.
Favorite
I
character.
think
I mean,
we
it's
both
we don't have to even
know
really.
it's Channing.
Okay, say we can't pick Channing. Do you have? There's only a couple characters you could really pick from. I think it's just Channing. I don't fucking
Yeah.
no. I mean, Selma was fine. The daughter was
Yeah.
pointless. I guess maybe the nanny man. I don't know what his name was, but I guess I
It's
liked
like her
him.
assistant.
But he wasn't really that good either. Like he really didn't
No.
have that much to do.
Mm-mm.
It was really about Selma and Channing. It's just Channing.
It was
Least favorite character? Probably it's the girl that played the MC. She was just off-putting. I didn't dig her. Like I didn't hate her, but there's no one really to hate. Like the dad, like the husband, wasn't really in it that much to even like dislike. And when he was in it, he barely said shit. So like
I feel like I hated her friends more than I hated her husband just because they were being fake and shit.
Yeah, I guess. But they weren't even being that bad.
No.
I just think the MC wasn't like annoying. I just didn't think it felt weird and forced.
Mm-hmm.
Like her to become. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think she is from the Vegas show. Now that you say that, I think I recall that's what she looked like. What's next?
Oh, we already did that.
Come on.
Iconic moment we did. Most boring moment.
There were some boring moments. Just about any scene where there was no dancing, basically, I was boring. How about that? If they weren't dancing, and if Channing wasn't on screen, I didn't want to be there. Like when there was anything with Selma and her like ex-husband or the daughter, and the daughter, and like I just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So I think anything that didn't involve dancing / Channing, I was out on.
I think I agree.
I think everything else was boring, but there was plenty of dancing in it, so I don't care.
Oh yeah, lots of good dancing.
And
lots of Channing.
Lots of Channing.
I feel like I'm missing.
Probably, I don't know, because you don't write it. You never wrote down the full list.
The sexiest moment.
That's tough. This is this. All right, this sexiest moment this week is brought to you by episode 69. This is episode 65. This week's sexiest moment is brought to you by our episode 69. Our 69th episode is coming up.
Get excited.
Get excited about episode 69. This is our sexiest moment of Magic Mike's Last Dance. Tara, what was your sexiest moment? I think it's pretty obvious. And it's just the opening dance.
Yeah.
Like the dance Where in the Rain might be more like fun and interesting, but it wasn't as sexy.
No.
I would say. It's not even, I don't even think it's arguable.
No, the Last Dance is sexy, but like you can tell it's just like is more choreographed. And,
yeah, they're both dancing. Where this one's like, I was like Selma wants to fuck him right now.
Yeah.
It was like very like, because she wasn't dancing. She was just more like getting her lipstick smeared and her hair was getting wild, and he was moving, and then it did lead to banging. So
yeah, it did lead to banging.
So yeah, that's it. I mean, I guess if you had to pick the sexiest part of that first dance, what do you think? Couple moments that probably could work. There's him hanging
the table.
The final table.
Mm-hmm.
What about? I think it's probably him lifting her up on the glass.
Oh yeah, lifting her up
and then spinning her around again, like because there was the original glass. Like, oh yeah, that's a good. And then when he flips her facing the window, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty. I should have told myself.
I gotta rewatch it. I
should have told myself to stay dry. Indeed.
You should have.
The movie made me wet.
I think it did.
I don't know how it couldn't. We were telling our buddies yesterday that we're going to watch it, and none of them had seen any of the Magic Mikes. I'm like, you gotta, dude. They're fucking hilarious. They're funny. The
They're
second one's
so
very funny. This one was not even
Yes.
close to.
No,
This one was
that's
almost
because we
somewhere.
needed the buds.
I thought this one was somewhere in between the
Yeah.
two, where it was like a little too like. This was more of like a silly Hallmark love story. You're not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a little silly. Where the last one was like really a straight up comedy. I thought, in my
Oh,
opinion.
100%.
And
But here's the thing: he finally got a leading woman role that I was like, oh, you're like this. You guys actually have some chemistry together.
yeah. I bought them as
Yeah.
like together. Like they're crazy. Like he is into her craziness. He was down.
Yes.
Where the girl in the last one was it Amber Heard?
Amber Heard. Yeah.
Sucked.
It was just like they had no chemistry.
She just like was like
she sucked. Was like,
and then the first one, it was like that girl was the worst in the first
oh my
one.
god, she was like
Oh my god,
the worst.
I don't even ever rewatch that one. I've seen Magic Mike XXL like 5 times.
I know. That's one of those movies that you put on and you're like,
it's one of those
pops on and
rewatchables.
you're like, oh,
Yep.
I'm just gonna finish it now, even though it just started, and I have to watch commercials.
What's the next category?
The next category is the Tara moment.
There was no real moment like that because it just didn't have any.
No,
There was like,
even though it was like high stakes for her, it really wasn't that high.
Yeah, like I guess like, the only thing that I could see like looking away was maybe during some of that last show, but everything went so smooth that it didn't really feel that way. You know,
No,
there wasn't really a cringy like look away moment. I thought.
Maybe
I thought maybe at the dinner they did a good job of giving you those classic tropes where you thought at the dinner they were gonna like maybe burn, kind of like treat like almost like in big Mr. Deeds where he was gonna be a fish out of water with all these rich people.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was coming. And then they didn't do it, which I thought was cool. Like they almost did a joke. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I know what you're fucking talking about. Just fucking with you. I thought that had a chance to be a moment like that. But they actually did a really good job of making it seem it was going to be that. And he actually just kind of killed the moment, which I thought was cool. I thought that was a good move. I thought that was smart. Yes.
Maybe the only uncomfortable Tara moment was when they were in the car and she went to kiss him and he kind of like stopped her. And then it got super awkward. And she was like
put his hand over his mouth.
Yeah. And was like, stop talking. Like, I don't want to hear what you have to say.
It was a fight that wasn't like cute.
Mm-mm.
They were only mad at each other for about 7 seconds.
Yeah. But it was also
that was a fun scene. The very like next scene where she has the Italian dude from Italy dance for her. Like it was a cool dance. Like he was a good dancer.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like Magic Mikey dance. And then and like he looks over at her. She's like looking at Tatum, who's like right there. It's kind of like all right. And then instantly this guy's dancing on this chick to the song Permission.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no. And that's when he's like, okay, I'll show you how you really do it.
Exactly.
And she stops him.
No, why would we just do that?
No. I thought that was a really funny scene. I thought that was really good. Too. I think these movies are underrated. I think they're much better than people give them credit for. They're fun and like pretty smart for what they are. Next.
Hero.
I mean, it's Channing.
Yeah.
Someone, I guess you could argue it's
the daughter.
The daughter for kind of like, no, it's Channing.
Yeah, it's
Channing. Some of these are easy. It's Channing in this one.
Oh my gosh, that ending scene though, how he's like, I know exactly how to make this. And what's so funny is it's like they literally just took the Vegas show and were like, they didn't do a movie.
They just put Channing in it.
Yeah.
They put Channing in it. I was at Mary and I were talking. We think they talked about it. They said we're making Magic Mike Last Dance. I think they talked about making the movie, and that was going to be like some of the show. I think that they did talk about that on the.
But it's like, oh, it's raining and she's saying goodbye, and it's like they already knew that already happened in the Vegas show, so they brought that into the movie.
It was good. It was cool. What was next? Just say what's next. You know when we're done talking. The villain.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's the ex, soon to be ex, and may never be ex, soon to be ex / his family.
Yeah.
Or the villains of the movie.
Yeah, because he is a villain. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't want her to succeed, and
Yeah, he's being a
like
dick
we
about it.
didn't have a bunch of him in it, so like it was hard to like
Really hate him.
super hate him.
But he was,
But
because at first he kind of was like,
sucked.
I don't really give a fuck. And then he did kind of give a fuck.
Yeah.
Don't have that scene where he doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Have him
And
be a little
then
worried about it.
yeah. And then what's the message?
Is that
Of
it?
the
And then we got to rate it.
Yeah.
The message of the movie is, I believe it is, sometimes you gotta just grab the bull by the horns and just power through and do what you set out to do, and don't let anything stop you, because it's gonna, if you got a real vision, go after it, because it's gonna, you gotta. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because if you got a real vision, you gotta. You know what I'm saying?
No, as I'm saying, it's like, it was about like, this is my following through on your vision.
Yeah.
Because like that was her whole thing. She always would have these ideas and never do it. And she still didn't do it. So she didn't learn shit.
But Channing was like,
but
see?
Channing's like, this is my last chance. I'm going to follow through on this. I also want love. And this will make her love me.
I think the message was more about just what dancing does to people, brings them together.
I mean, that's what they tried to sell
were
on us
really trying to
with the
sell us
voiceover from the
that.
daughter.
They were really trying to keep bringing it in. Like, but I will say, yeah, there's something to say about dancing.
Yeah, but that's not really. I mean, they were trying it, but that's
no.
not really what it was about.
It was about. It was a
dancing
love
does
story.
bring people together for sure.
And
it
it's
like it was a love story.
Didn't
It was
it
also a
say
story
something about how dancing? I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something like like if you're a certain kind of person, you're a good dancer or something. Like what makes a good dance? Like you have to
person.
have.
Just because you're good dancers make you a good person. Does that make you a good person? If you can like connect with someone dancing, but if you're good dancers, that necessarily make you a good person. It was like things like that.
Oh.
I think they should just cut all of that voiceover because it's not needed for anything. If they cut all of that out, the movie would be fine.
Yeah.
It would lose none of its. It would lose. It was like almost like they're trying like this is like the novel she wrote. Is that what they're trying to like insinuate? Because it
like
doesn't make any sense.
No.
It was like she was telling like a almost like she was trying to tell a fairy tale.
Right.
And it was fucking stupid. Get rid of that part of it. Dumb. I would get rid of that. You didn't need it. It still would have. We all would have got it. We all pretty much would have got what was going on.
Yeah.
All right. So we agree. We don't agree on the message, but
no,
right.
And we agree on the message.
I'm correct. Is what it's about. I'm what it's really about. But
yes,
also
follow
like
through.
If Selma Hayek, I think the message if Selma Hayek is like wants to bang you, even if she's a little crazy, do it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Fight for it because she's a babe. She held up. She
still
looks great. She looks great all the time. She looks great in that movie though, and she was fun in it. When she was kind of like when he says she's drunk in the car, she seemed drunk. So I only had one drink. So you think I'm crazy? That's such a good. That was good.
Well, she
that
goes,
bitch had
I'm
more
drunk,
than one drink.
and then he goes, "No, you had one drink." And then
that's what it was.
Yeah, but then she's like, "Okay, so you think I'm crazy?"
That's right. That's what it was. Rate this motherfucker.
Oh God,
it's hard to rate. I guess I will rate it. Probably. $100 bill in the G string. No, there's not any G strings in this one.
No, they don't get very naked.
No, they didn't really.
Channing gets the most naked.
Yeah, because he got down
with
to
his
like
knee pads.
He got down to like just little undies with knee pads on. She gets the most naked. The girl. I don't know what I'm rating it.
I'm rating it unicorn.
Oh, 3 unicorns? That
Yeah.
was so dumb.
That was so dumb. Unicorn.
I was like, what? So you're rating it 3 unicorns?
Yeah.
Or just unicorn.
Unicorn,
yeah, so
unicorn,
which is 3
unicorn.
unicorns.
Yeah.
3 unicorns. That's pretty good. I guess I'll rate it. What's something that's something that was in the movie? I'll rate it. Oh, I'll rate it 60 G's. That deserves the full 60 G's.
That does.
I'll rate that movie as 60 G's.
That did deserve 60 G's.
That deserved the whole. He deserves that whole 60 G's. So moving on, not from the movie, but kind of like. So I want us to. I don't remember a ton of the dances from the first one, but I would like you to rank your top 3 sexiest or best, or not even sexiest, but favorite dances from the 3 movies. Your favorite 3 ranked.
Oh my gosh.
From the Magic
There's
Mike
so many
movies.
good ones.
Yeah. I don't remember the first ones that well.
I don't know any of the first ones, so I
remember some of them. I remember some. It's not the final dance from McConaughey.
No.
Where he's just like creepy on stage.
Mm-hmm.
He played such a good creep in that movie.
So good.
What about what about the first one? All the guys are dancing in their raincoats and umbrellas and stuff like that. That's a pretty iconic dance. That's probably the most iconic scene from that one, other than him dancing to Pony, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Rate every Pony performance. Just rate your top 3. Go ahead. I'll let you
My
go.
number 3 is Joe
Manganiello. Big Dick Richie.
Big Dick Richie, when he's at the grocery store and they're all like high on
Gas station.
Yeah. What'd I say?
Grocery store.
Oh yeah, the gas station. And I Want It That Way comes on. And he's supposed to make this girl smile. And they're like, if you make this girl smile. And he's like, that girl looks like she's never smiled a day in her life.
But that dance. Where he dances in the grocery store.
It's so good and so funny.
Throwing water
and then he
around.
gets on the ground. And it's so good and funny.
Okay, so that's on your rating as number 3.
Yeah.
What's number 2?
Channing at Rome's when he's like, yep, actually I'm
actually the best dancer.
Am the best.
And he has the
and
2
then he
chicks.
Gets on the 2 girls
he does
and he's like,
lap dances 2 girls at once.
Yeah, that
basically.
might be my number 1. Ooh.
Okay, you can always double back, I suppose. What's your number number 1 or slash? What's your third?
The Joe Manganiello is my third.
No, I
Big
just mean
Dick
what's
Ricky.
the third one?
Oh,
and then you can
I'm
put them in order.
struggling.
How are you struggling? I think it's fairly obvious what's the best dance. That is a good one, just because it's unique and cool.
Mm-hmm.
What about Twitch's dances? You didn't like Twitch's dance?
Well,
what about
the final one is really good, but I also really like the rain one.
What about the opening one in this one? What about the opening one in Magic Mike XXL, where he's in his shop dancing around to Pony?
There's so many good ones. Oh.
What about when Kevin Nash dances while he paints? That was a good one.
Oh my gosh. The candy shop one is good too. No, I think.
What about when Michael Strahan dances?
Oh my God. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to honorable mention Joe's.
He's not in it anymore.
No, and then
it's a pretty great moment. It's probably my favorite moment in the series. But
it's so hard. I don't know. Okay, my last one will be the final dance in Magic Mike XXL.
Oh wow. Okay, I think the 2 opening dances are both better than that one. That's just my take.
I mean, Pony is good, and so is. I think since I've seen Magic Mike XXL so many times, it's just
they mean
like
more to you because everything you picked is from that movie. So
I know
that seems silly.
So I feel like I need to revisit this when I've seen that one more.
If I'm just gonna go off the top of my head, it's gonna be opening scene to Last Dance.
Yeah, it is pretty great.
Manganiello number 2 in the gas station because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Probably Pony from the XXL. Honorable mention, McConaughey being creepy at the end of the movie when he goes out and he's like, Grant, like he like has his cowboy hat over his dong. And he's like, you got to rewatch the first one.
I don't watch
It's depressing, but
I know.
some of the
That's-
dancing's
it
in it. Some of the
bums me
dancing
out
in it
too
is good
much.
though. Some of
Maybe
the
I'll just
dancing-
do the dance scenes because
There you go. Just so you know which dance scenes are the best.
yeah, that was a good question. It was hard because I'm just like thinking of all of them and loving them.
I'm trying to think. There
How
was a
about
lot
worst ones?
of worst ones. It's either Tarzan doing his art. There's no real
It's
dance.
so funny. Just like,
And the Strahan one is weird. It just
it's
is like
so weird.
there's
But
like
so
let's get
is
Michael
the-
Strahan in here.
So
like,
is the Childish Gambino one?
just
where
singing?
he's just
He doesn't
singing,
even-
but takes off his shirt. And it's just
Yeah.
like, and his song sucks. Caroline.
Yeah. I'm with you. And I think honorable mention for the Twitch dance at the beginning of the Twitch. That's a good scene too, where he's dancing
That's
there.
so good. And then he like
When
gets
they
down
both
low and,
dance
like,
there.
does this.
That dance of
Oh,
both
that
of them
dance-
together.
It's my number one.
You're right.
good.
It's not even on my list.
I know there's just so
Shit.
many.
It's good. It's good. Again, guys, I'm far too into these movies. I think they're fun. They're fun movies, and I want to be those boys.
Yeah.
I want to be them men.
Mhm.
Tara, that's good enough. That's enough, Magic Mike.
Okay.
That's enough, Magic Mike. That's enough, Magic Mike. We're fucking 55 minutes in, and we
Oh
basically
my
only talk about Magic
gosh.
Mike. Moving on.
Moving
Any
on.
sports talk, real quick. Not a ton. U.S. Open happened yesterday. We didn't really. It was on super late. And we didn't really watch it.
I know.
We ended up leaving and not
We
watching
turned it on at like 2.
We turned it on at like 4
3 or
or 5.
4.
It was like 5, Tara.
Yeah, and they were on like the second.
It was just starting. They're on the second
Yeah.
hole. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so we were like,
normally it's like
eh.
ending around then. So it was going to like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So we dipped
Yeah,
and didn't watch it. Instead, we watched a couple episodes of I Think You Should Leave, starring
and that was
Timothy
awesome.
Robinson.
So good.
Such a good show. Oh, there was a big trade in the NBA. The Suns traded for Beal. Olin Beal's cousin, Bradley Beal. Weird trade. But also could be good trade. I don't know. It's so hard to say. It's like
I
got a
don't
lot of
know,
guys that can
right?
score. Can we be honest? The only thing that's going to matter is if KD can stay healthy.
Yes.
If KD can stay healthy, they can make a run. That's just
Right.
all it is. And then Chris Paul went over to the Wizards, and I feel like if he plays there, he'll make them all better just because he makes young guys better. But I don't know if he's going to stay there. That sounds like he
Yeah.
might not. They might trade him or cut him, and I think they'll trade him to get nothing from him. Makes no sense at all.
Right.
But Bradley Beal was like the leading scorer in the NBA a couple of years ago. Like he's scoring like 30 a game. Like he was right
Yeah.
there at the top. So that's another dude that can. They already got 2 dudes that can score at will. Think about him. People are like, oh, well, they don't. Think about it. No one can key on him at all because those other 2 dudes will be on the court. They can kind of rest one dude at a time if they want. Only have 2 of those guys on the court at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Keep KD fresh for the playoffs, and Booker gets hurt a decent amount too. Keep him fresh. Keep all 3 of them fresh for the playoffs.
Yes.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate
People
it.
like I don't see it, but
I don't love it.
I don't hate it as a fan. I don't hate it as like a fit, like some people do. But I don't love it. It's like this is
Right.
annoying. Like, come on. That's really the only trade that's happened. Nothing else has really happened. There's a lot of other stuff that's in the works. Talking about Zion. The draft is on
Oh,
Wednesday.
gosh. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that next week. Not that anybody cares that much that listens to us.
Yeah. I mean, Zion.
The Zion thing we haven't really talked
I
about.
know.
We should talk about it really quick for our listeners, just so they can hear some they might like a little drama. So it's so I was talking to Dad about this. So basically, guys, Zion. This is a guy. Zion is, if you are not a basketball fan, he is like this guy that's just when he's on the court, he's like undeniable. He's like this big guy. He's like 6'7" or 8 or something like that. He's not super tall, but he's like 6'6", 6'7" range,
Yeah.
I think. And he's thick though. He's like thick
he's like
boy,
football
like,
player thick.
He's like football thick, and people are
And
always
just-
pissed at him because he's like, oh, he's too fat. They fat shame him basically.
Yes.
But when he's on the court, he's as athletic as anybody. But he keeps getting
Jumps out
hurt.
of the gym, but
Jumps out of the
definitely
gym.
gets
He's
hurt.
like maybe one of the best athletes I've
Yeah.
ever seen, especially at his size. And he just is like a really talented scorer.
Yes.
And he's going, and he keeps getting hurt. He's been hurt a lot. He hasn't played much in his first 4 or 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Been injured quite a bit. And then this drama's been coming out where this couple women that he got a woman pregnant. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused on who's who, but there's a couple women that are like fighting on Twitter about basically who's a better for Zion.
Yeah.
And people are going like crazy about it and how it's bad news. I'm like, what are you talking about? How's it like? That's just, he's 22 years old.
Right.
And or 23 years old or something like that. And basically that's what happened. Like one of them's like used to be a porn star. But I don't even know if she's like OnlyFans only or something like that. And one of them's talking about how like she's keeping him fit and you're keeping him fat. And then they're like talking about their sexual experiences with him.
And being like, he barely made me come.
Yeah, he barely made me, which is so funny. It's like, but he did. But he did? Okay. But he did, it sounds like.
Sounds like he did.
Way to go, buddy. Good job. It's kind of like a weird brag for him.
Yeah.
But they're like, people are like saying that the Pelicans are going to trade him because of that. But I think it'd be more because he's never healthy.
Right.
If it's for that, it'd be really silly. And they're trying to compare it to the gun thing with.
Oh, God.
So fucking stupid. It's like it's a young guy who's dating women and they're.
Yeah.
And sometimes you pick the wrong women and they're fighting in public like idiots.
Exactly. And you get one pregnant and then it just blows your cover and then you take maternity pictures with her. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah. So it is what it is. It's not, it's obviously not awesome, but it's also like it's not distracting to his teammates. None of them give a fuck. They're probably they're probably like you're the man sort of thing.
And I just feel like Zion's such an interesting cat where he seems awkward
really
and young and immature.
Yeah,
and
he's a little immature. If someone could figure it out, I think for him it'd be best if he got traded to maybe a place where he can get a fresh start.
Yeah,
that'd be my take.
Like he was moving the other girl that wasn't pregnant to New Orleans or something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's this lady with a huge bump.
Yeah.
And then she started really getting into him, like his weight and
Personal
stuff and saying it's
stuff. It was
disgusting. Had like Coca-Cola all over his bathroom or something. Like,
yeah, he said his bathroom's had a bunch of empty soda bottles and shit.
Yeah.
Just like kind of putting his business. I guess, listen, she's pissed.
Yes.
I get that. But to like air it out in the world is so bogus. I mean, again, just not to, I'm trying not to this week talk about a bunch of shit I talk about normally. Taylor Swift, Giannis, things like that. But I will say, like, that's the type, that's what I don't love about like that reality TV stuff is where all of it comes out. Like this, like the Vanderpump season, a bunch of stuff was coming out like on like Twitter stuff. I'm like, why? So uninteresting. It's like, why are you putting your personal business out in the world?
Right.
Like this. Like if something like that happened to me, I would be so fucking quiet about it.
Right.
I'd be like, nobody needs to know about this.
Yeah.
Ever. But that's just me.
Speaking of Ja, his suspension was pretty lame.
Why? I think it's the right amount.
I think
25.
I don't think it does anything. He probably doesn't even want to play those 25 games. It's not going to even matter.
He didn't really do anything.
He did, though.
He didn't, though.
He's not supposed to have guns, and he had guns again.
Says who?
It's probably in his contract.
I don't know that it is. Tell me if that it is.
I can't because
it's legal for that guy to own a gun,
but not to be.
It's the way he's doing it that they don't like it. It's the way he's doing it they don't like it. That it's like flippant, and like he's doing it with like they don't know if they didn't know if they're his guns. It's the thing about it. They don't know shit about it. They can't suspend him for more, Tara. For not really doing anything. I just don't think he's
gonna learn anything.
He didn't break any, huh?
I just don't think he's gonna learn anything.
And he gets in a lot more trouble next time.
I guess, but oh my gosh, I was listening. I was listening to
millions of dollars from this guy for that. Like he didn't do anything.
I was listening to 25 games is fine, but maybe have it be towards the end of the.
You can't. No, that doesn't make any sense. That punishes the team.
I know.
You got to do it as it comes.
Somebody was comparing him to Aaron Hernandez.
Again, super stupid. It's a young guy doing dumb shit.
I was like, what? Aaron Hernandez was like murdering people in college and
I mean,
like
he should be
murdering
more-
people.
He should be in more trouble for the thing with the young guy at his house that he like
Yes.
punched and
Yeah.
then like showed his gun to.
Yes.
Like that to me is far more concerning than the other stuff. But that other stuff is like they like you can't take them all like as their own thing though either. You know, they're all kind of the same thing. I think this 25 for this year is fine because it's hard. If they did anything else, it would be kind of crazy because he hasn't really broken a rule at this moment. It's more of a visual, like a detriment to the league sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if he does something else, it'll be much larger. And he'll know that. Like 25 isn't, you think it's not a lot, and it's really not. But it's a quarter of a season. And if that means he's not getting a paycheck for that quarter of that season for a guy that makes that many millions of dollars, that's millions and millions of dollars he's not making. So,
So hopefully that matters to him.
I think it will. And again, it's 25 this time, so it's going to be much larger next time. I think he'll realize that.
Yeah. Hopefully he cuts the crap.
Yeah, maybe. I would agree.
You never
I
know
hope he does.
because I feel like there was just some like big name that got caught with a bunch of guns and is going to jail.
Right. It's a thing.
And it's like, God.
Any other sports stuff, Tara, that you caught over the weekend? It's not a big sports weekend.
No, it's such a
You know what's
low
coming up though
because
that I'm excited for us to talk about is the MLB All-Star Game should be coming up. I like talking about the home run derby. That's going to be exciting.
that's coming up already?
It's always like early in July. Shortly after the 4th, I believe. Let me look. MLB All-Star. It is July 11th. So it's only a couple weeks away. So I'm excited about that.
I like
It's always
know
a fun
nothing
time.
about baseball and like
I don't either, but I can watch
I
and
feel
still
like
watch.
that's
I can still watch the
when
home run derby every
I
damn
know.
year.
That's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn some names,
Some new guys, some
new
young guys that can hit some goddamn dingers.
Yeah.
Tara, did you write hard-hitting questions for me this week?
Just a couple.
Just a couple. We can make this episode a little shorter. It was like basically our countdown to 69. We got Real
Yeah.
Magic Mikey with it.
Yeah.
Maybe like next week, Tara, we'll both have a 69 fact. Something about 69, like a fun 69 fact. Maybe I can figure out something right now. Come up, read your first question. Like, look for your question. Hold on one second. Hold on. I'm just going to name a couple of the greatest sports players that have ever worn the number 69.
Oh.
Building up to our 69 episode. Or should I say that for the 69th episode? No, we'll have better stuff for that. Jared Allen was very famously played for Minnesota Vikings. He was number 69. David Bakhtiari, lineman for the Packers, 69. It's mostly probably going to be NFL players because they wear 69 a lot. Keith Sims, NFL player from the 90s that I don't really know. Bronson Arroyo was a pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds in the early 2000s up until not that long ago.
And he wore 69.
He was also I think he won the World Series with the Boston Red Sox back in 2004, I want to say. Not positive. Other than that, Mark Schlereth, he was number 69. On-air personality. Some people call him Stink. You know Mark Schlereth there. NFL. Yeah, you do. You've seen on him a million fucking of those shows you've watched over the years. He's always on whenever they talk NFL stuff on like Good Get Up and shit like that, he's on.
What's his
I
name?
don't know if he still is. Mark Schlereth. You definitely know him. He was on ESPN for years. I don't know if he's still on it though. I'm trying to see. Other than that, I don't really know a lot of these people. Don't know a lot of these dudes. So that was our 69 facts of the week. What do you got for me?
All right. So today there's lots of cat holidays going on. There's National Take Your Cat to Work Day, National Garfield the Cat Day, and International Box Day. Because
What's that
cats,
got to do with cat? Oh, because they love boxes.
they love empty boxes.
Is that what it's about? Or are you just saying that since it's International Box Day, cats get into it? That's
Yeah.
you saying that. That's a you thing?
Yeah.
All right, nice.
So, what are your top 3 favorite fictional cats?
My top 3 favorite fictional cats. That's excellent. My top 3 favorite fictional cats. Probably. Man, that's tough, Terry. Do you have any off the top of your head?
I really like Thackeray Banks.
Thackeray Binks is probably on my list. I'll go Thackeray Binks. I'll go with the cat from Pet Cemetery. Don't know what its name was, but the cat from the original Pet Cemetery that they bring back to life and then is a
It
little
was
piece of
Churchill.
shit. Churchill, that's right.
Mhm.
Churchill's my number 2. Thackeray Binks might be number 1. I'm undecided. And my third fictional cat is Mr. Jinx. That's his name,
Jinxie
right?
cat.
Jinxie?
Yeah.
Jinx the cat.
Mr. Jinx. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jinx the cat from Meet the Fockers is my number 1. I'm sorry. He isn't Meet the Fockers, but from Meet the Parents, Mr. Jinxie, number 1, number 2, Thackeray Binks, and number 3 is the Pet Cemetery cat, Churchill. Thank you, Tara, for that one. I think I nailed it.
What's your top 3 favorite things about being a cat dad?
Top 3 favorite? What if I don't have 3?
Make one up.
I don't really love it. Nothing I love about it. I mean, I like that the cat makes Miranda happy and calm.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably my number 1 is that she likes the cat. I could probably name 3 things excuse my belch. Gross. That I don't like. I'll do that next. No problem.
Okay.
I like the way she makes Miranda feel. That's my number 1 favorite thing about a cat. I like when the cat rubs up on like my leg when I'm standing there and she has like cool to the touch fur. Feels nice. It's like I got a chill to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to fuck with the cat. I like to piss her off. Like I like to fuck with her and like annoy her. I like to make her go I think that's funny. My 3 least favorite things about being a cat owner are you just got to deal with it. That's my number. Like there's always like when you're going on, not it's doable, but you always got to plan it out. Someone to take care of the cat when you're gone. It's probably my number 1 thing. Number 2, there's just hair everywhere. Miranda always goes, "Your hair's everywhere too." I'm like, it's not even fucking close. Like I do leave hair everywhere. I'm a hairy, sheddy man, but it's not. I don't have
It's
to.
not
I just rubbed my hand
of-
across our ottoman today, and it just built up a pile of cat hair. It's just like it's not the same.
No.
And then my number 3 is when she when Miranda leaves and she like makes this a noise like she's like dying. It's like it disturbs me. I hate it. It doesn't bother me so much now. I mostly just go shut up. But there's points where like, oh my, when it first started happening, like, oh my god, this is like demon like. I didn't like it. What do you got next?
Tomorrow is Jean's birthday. Jeannie, our mom.
Jeannie, our mother.
So I thought it might
You talking about Jeaneth?
Jeaneth.
Yeah.
Jeaneth's birthday. And I thought it might be fun for you to share a fun story about her.
Fun story about Jeaneth. There's a lot. I'll share. The December before the pandemic started, we went on a trip. Tara and my mom go on trips together like every year. And I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Tara gets free trips out of you like every goddamn year. I never get to. I'd like to go on a trip with you, Ma, because Dad doesn't take me on trips. It's not like me and Dad go hang out somewhere cool. So Mom's like, let's go do something. So we went down to Austin. She let me pick, and I picked Austin, Texas. We went to Austin for like 4 days or something like that. Really good time. We packed the days full of food and events and things like that. And I think it was the first night we were there. We cruised over to see this cold spring place where you can swim. It's like a public swimming hole type of thing. And on the way back, we stopped at some food trucks, and then we saw mini golf and we mini golfed, which was fun. But after mini golf, we decided they had like scooters, like the scooters that everybody, the electric scooters you can rent. Neither of us had ever done it before. And I didn't want to do it on the streets. There's like sidewalks we could do it on. So we were doing it on sidewalks. And I did it with her, and she's like, she's like, I'll do it. And then she kind of was like, she did a good job, but she was a little shaky and like a little scared the whole time. And like I'd to the point where she's going pretty slow, and I would like fly. Our next stop was at this place. I want to try this churro place. Did you went to the churro place, right, Tara?
Yeah.
Delicious place where they do like churros with ice cream, and we were going there, and it was kind of, I don't know, a mile, 2 miles from where we were going, and we took maybe a mile and a half, and we took these scooters there, and she was like, we'd go real slow and then kind of speed up, but like, and I'd go back and I'd like, what the fuck? And she was getting pissed at me, like, I'm trying, but it was on kind of like a busy street.
Yeah, I can't believe.
But we were on the sidewalk, but she was like, but anyway, the point is, we got there, and in the long run, when I think about it, I was like, oh, why was I such a dick about it? Like, she's like not that, like, she's never ridden one before, and she's a notoriously clumsy lady. She almost fell over twice today, stepping backwards, just because she's like not watching where she's going.
She's just thinking about 18 million things.
I'm telling her, I'm saying now that I'm proud. I'm actually proud of her for that. We had fun. We had a really fun trip, and I'm proud of her that day for doing that, because she did it, and she, as slow as she went some of the time, I was like annoyed because I wanted to cruise, but at the same time, it's like, you know, when you're not used to that, and you're like, again, you're kind of a clumsy lady, Jeannie. I'm happy that you did that, and it was fun. Thanks for taking me to Austin, Texas a couple years back.
That was good.
You got one?
Oh, I didn't know.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I got a million just like you. One time, the two of us, it was around March. It was March Madness, and the boys were doing their thing, and Mom's like, well, why don't you come back and we'll go to like headquarters or something together. And I was like,
local bar.
Yeah, local bar. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds fun. So I found these like red purses to get us, and they kind of looked like little monsters. And we both like wore them to headquarters, and we were cheering, and there was kind of a lot of people there, and we were having a lot of fun, a couple drinks. And then all of a sudden, Mom pulls up her little purse and goes, Tara, who am I? And like makes the face of the monster. And I'm just like, you are so cute and such a nerd. And it's just little things like that, like she always does.
Nice. She's a weirdo.
She is a weirdo.
She's actually, I don't know, sometimes it's like, yeah, Dad's the reason we say we have a countdown to 69, but at the same time, Jeannie's not afraid to say some fucked up shit in like a quick little beat, a little moment.
She's hilarious.
She throws the shocker up a lot.
Yeah.
But she does it like backwards. And she's always like, she doesn't do 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. She's always like 2 in the stink, 1 in the pink.
Yeah.
And she does like a little noise.
And then she like does like the whistle from Close Encounters.
She's a fucking nut.
And I'm like, oh my God.
So she's probably excited about Countdown. She's got to watch Magic Mike Last Dance. We were going to watch it as a family last night if we hadn't left. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
But then.
Yeah, we got a boner and been a little like, ooh, why am I getting a boner?
His man Channing.
Any other hard? Yeah, he had a crush on Channing Tatum before any of us. He's been a Channing Tatum guy since OG Step Up. He was like, this guy's cool. I was like, this guy's a douche. And he was like on that Channing Tatum before any of us, honestly.
No, I was on Channing first when he was in Coach Carter. Yes.
Dad's dad.
No. Coach Carter.
The Channing we all know and love, the dancing Channing.
Well,
him.
Sure. It's the summer solstice.
Yeah, it is.
This week, and it's also Oregon Summerfest.
Oh, is it?
So I just want to know your top. No, it's next week.
I missed it. I'm not coming back. No, I missed it.
Top 3 best Oregon Summerfest moments you had as a kid.
As a kid, or just in general?
Or just in general. In general.
Because I don't know. The top 3 Oregon Summerfest moments. I know my worst was when we rode we've talked about when we rode the avalanche until we thought we were going to die.
And I think I could never ride rides after that.
I think the first time when I was like, the very first time we went where we got the wristbands and got just to like experience the fair with friends and like, I felt like I was on top of the goddamn world the very first time I went to Oregon Summerfest. My second favorite is Grandma was here a couple times during it, and we would go and we'd sit and play bingo. There was a bingo tent and I was like, because of that, I always wanted to go to the bingo tent, and I never really got to go that often, but I sat there and played bingo with my grandma one day, like for a really long time. And then my number 3 was the first year we got to go to the beer tent. The first year I was old enough to go to the beer tent was awesome. And I was shotgunning beers with like high school teachers and shit like that. It was a lot of fun, and we just got rowdy. We were the rowdy bunch at the Oregon Summerfest beer tent. The first time you get to go to your local like beer tent is always pretty cool. Like, it's a fun time. That actually might be my number 1.
That one
That's
was
moving
fun.
To number 1. That was a lot of fun.
And that was definitely fun. A fun one is when we went down to the beer tent some random summer when we were back, and it was just you, me, mom, and dad.
Maybe about, I don't know, not even that long ago. Yeah. 5 years ago, maybe?
Yeah. And we were like, well, let's go to the beer tent. And there was nothing really going on.
We didn't know anybody.
No.
We didn't know anybody at it. We thought we'd know a bunch of people. I was like, kind of like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to talk to a bunch of people like barely, like I haven't seen in a while. But we didn't know anybody there.
So we started playing a game that everyone had to do a lap and dance around like the beer tent doing a lap.
Where we take turns like dancing around we had to do the same route and just kind of like diving in and out of people while dancing around to
whatever song was
on. I don't know if we judged it, but we all did take turns. It was me, you, dad, mom, you said, right? It was just the four of us. That was fun.
Just random.
Any other ones? No, I mean any other questions?
Oh, no.
All right, good. It's getting late. Let's make this one a little shorter. Or before I read emails, do you have any grievances?
Mosquito bites. Mosquitoes are back, and they got me all over my butt cheeks because of the way I was sitting.
I got them on my ankles, and I got them like somehow and I got them right where my shorts. Probably like why you got them on your butt cheeks, right where my shorts met my thighs, just right at the edge of that. Right, that's where they're at. Right at the edge for some reason. Yeah, mosquitoes are the worst part of summer.
Gnats are pretty bad too.
Yeah, but we don't have to deal with them unless we're up at the
farm.
Otherwise, we don't really deal with it too much. MELLONfights is a podcast hosted by a brother and sister. Born in the 1980s, and we have an email, and it's mellonfights@gmail.com, MELLONfights@gmail.com. We got some emails coming in here and there. If you guys want to email us, please email us. We do have one email to read tonight. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you probably already do, or you don't. If you don't, you're a jerk. Instagram is Andyland Entertainment, and our TikTok is MELLONfights. We have one email from Miranda. It's Magic Mike still has the moves. Magic Mike does still have the moves. You're not wrong. Channing Tatum he's 43, by the way.
Yum.
Looks great.
Looks awesome.
Looks great for 43. Miranda, Melon Fighters. MILF Manor had a weird way of seeing who stayed. Miranda, you'd think Tara would have finished it since she was ahead, but she actually didn't finish it. We still have to watch the finale. MILF Manor had a weird way of seeing who stayed and who left based on their matches. Felt like gym class. It was weird, Tara. You must not have got. It's the second to last episode, I think. But there was a guy that came. There's a couple that. Did you get to the point where like a couple came in?
Yeah.
And they just were such non-factors, and like it was so weird.
Oh wait, no.
Of course you didn't, because why would you? A new couple came in.
I didn't think you guys were watching it. A son and a
You're a liar. You wouldn't watch it anyway.
A son and
a new one come in. Yes.
I did see that. Lisa and her son Ryan or something.
Yeah, and they were sucked.
Yeah, I saw it.
But we realized that the new guy was a Kieran Culkin lookalike and vibe. Like we're like, man, I'm like, he really reminds me of Kieran Culkin, and then Miranda couldn't stop thinking about it. Speaking of Dane Cook, wait, what? Oh, did we talk about Dane Cook last week?
Yeah, I asked what's your favorite Dane Cook joke because it was his birthday or something. Oh, yeah.
Dumb question. Speaking of Dane Cook, did you either of you like Employee of the Month? No, I thought it was a terrible movie.
I've never seen it.
Dane Cook movies were mostly pretty bad. Employee of the Month was the one with him and Jessica Simpson, and I thought
No,
it was terrible.
wasn't that Good Luck Chuck?
No.
Oh.
Employee of the Month, they both worked at like a superstore thing, Costco type thing. And there was like Superstore before the show Superstore, and she worked there and was like the hot chick they all wanted to try to hook up with, and it's not very good. I really liked that movie as a kid. Well, I'm sure you did. Best toys. Polly Pockets, right on the list. Easy Bake Oven,
Ooh.
also good. Tamagotchi, also good.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mentions, Barbies, Skip It, Light Bright. Skip It was cool. Someone said in one of our comments, Skip It, and they said something else I thought was a good one too. I can't remember what it was, but it was good. Summertime specific toy, Crazy Daisy. I believe that's the one where it was like a hose thing, like basically a sprinkler, and it just like flipped around and sprayed water. I believe we didn't have that. We just had a regular sprinkler. Sprinklers are awesome though.
They are awesome.
Movie dads. All three guys, Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Steve Guttenberg in 3 Men and a Baby and 3 Men and a Lady. Great answer.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't rank them one. I think this is, we'll call them, that's a good one though.
Yeah.
Steve Martin in Cheaper by the Dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Never was a big Cheaper by the Dozen guy. It's kind of past our time.
Not,
we were little, yeah. But I like Steve Martin. Steve Martin's a good dad in general.
And Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride, he's good in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire. Technically, probably.
Hello. No, he's a bad dad.
He was really good as Mrs. Doubtfire, but he's a bad, like a crazy dad.
Yeah.
Like that's bad dadding.
That's bad dadding.
Like instead of just being a good dad, I'm gonna be crazy and dress up as a woman, like an old woman. Like it's fucking
not
psychopath
good.
shit that he does.
Sorry, Miranda.
But it did a lot of fun. We thought that he was the hero, and he really wasn't. The mom's the actually really good mom in that movie. He's a piece of shit. Mall food: Auntie Anne's, Red Robin, and Sbarro.
Red Robin.
Red Robins are usually in a mall, kind of like almost always. Tara, think of Red Robin's like next to the mall usually.
No.
Yeah.
In
almost
Madison, it's not.
One of them, one side of town, it is.
No, there's only
east side. It is.
No, it's not.
You're wrong. One of them's in the mall. No. And Red Robins are a lot of times in malls. Trust me.
Oh, you trust me.
And it's a bad answer, but Sbarro's also doesn't
bad
quite
answer.
hold up.
It's gross.
Listen, any answer other than Cinnabon is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell is a good answer too. Someone did mention that, and they were correct.
Yes.
I think it might have been Chris. And Taco Bell was a mall thing.
It was.
You like had it at the mall originally. Honorable mentions: Panda Express.
That makes me shit.
Gross. Cheesecake Factory. That's usually
that's a mall thing.
Sure.
That's
a mall thing. That's a good answer. And then Mrs. Fields. It's a cookie. Get out of my face. No
a Cinnabon's.
You know what I was saying? For us, I would have said Buddy Squirrel, like at the candy store. Was awesome at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Mike Last Dance had some sweet and funny. We're finally to Magic Mike. Magic Mike Last Dance had some sweet and funny moments. At first, I thought the acting was like really bad, but it kind of grew on me. That's basically what I said. I liked the storyline more than the first one, and maybe more than the second one too. That's silly.
No, the second one was
the second one is so good. It's like the whole story is like we're going to a convention of strippers, and you're going to be the best strippers.
Yeah,
amazing story.
That's the only.
It's just a road trip. It's a road trip movie.
A buddy road trip.
God, that's a good movie. Top 3 idea: favorite things about a wedding. Pass.
The dance floor. The free drinks.
To me, if it's free booze, dance floor for like a little bit for me. I can't do it too long. And it's fun to look snazzy.
Dressing up,
looking snazzy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my 3. XOXO Miranda. All right. We did it. Good email.
Did Miranda like her gifts?
Yeah. I would imagine.
Good.
No one knows what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure she did.
Oh, sorry. We're not off air yet.
You could have asked me that off air, probably.
We're not off air.
No one even knows what you're talking about. Yeah, the things you sent Miranda, she liked. So
cut that.
No. Now everyone knows you care about Miranda and give her gifts. So again, countdown to 69. This was episode 64. Next week is episode 65. Let's come up with some good stuff for 65, Tara.
Okay.
Maybe we should be doing 65 stuff. Or should we be doing like,
No.
come in with a 69 fact, whatever
69
that
facts.
means to you.
Okay.
And then 69 is going to be a full blowout, pun intended episode. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, Tara, have a Tuesday.
Hey, Drew, happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. Yeah, we didn't talk about Juneteenth
No,
at all.
I
Our
just
bad, our
thought
bad.
that-
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
Slavery was bad.
Some people.
I'm glad it's a federal holiday. I
Yes.
honestly am. I'm glad it became a federal holiday for
Yes.
real. I forget it. Like, we're all bad at remembering it because it's so
'Cause
new
we
to the
don't
white
have,
folk. But
and we don't have real jobs to like have.
yeah,
our
we also don't have real
minders.
jobs to even get off of.
Yeah.
So we don't even notice it. But I noticed because I went to the bank. I went on my bank app and realized something hadn't gone through yet. I'm like, why the fuck is this going through? It's because of Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
It should be probably celebrated more than it is. Let's
Yep.
be honest. Let's get that bigger and better
Mhm.
over the years. Tara, I think maybe. What do you think about getting rid of Have a Tuesday and just say Stay Dry?
Sure.
What about Stay Dry as our new saying?
Stay dry,
Stay
because we
dry.
do talk a lot about getting horned up. So
We do get horny and like
Yeah.
we're trying to like, hey guys, don't
Hey.
get too wet. Listen to our pod.
yeah, stay dry.
Stay dry.
I like it.
Stay dry. Hey Tara, stay dry.
Stay dry.
Stay dry.
Stay dry.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Melon
Melon
fights.
fights. By the way, Tara, I'm thinking about finding the original clip of that from our old videos and just popping that at the end instead of me saying it.
Oh
Because
yeah,
it's so good. The original version of it that we did that Melon Fights thing
Yeah.
is so funny.
it's so funny.
Like we laughed so hardly because it was just random.
Yeah.
We just did it.
Find it.
So I think I'm going to find that and throw that at the end and I won't even say it anymore.
Perfect.
I will. I'll say it so we know we're done, but I'll probably just put the other one in instead.
I like it.
All right, guys. Have a happy Juneteenth. Have a happy week. See you next week. Countdown to 69.
Stay dry.
Stay dry.